Hey BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you're new to me and it's the first time you're seeing this face, hello, what's up? My name's Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So I hope that's why you're here, because that's what's going to be happening. If you're not new to me, thank you for always tuning in and the continued support. I really do appreciate it. So today for you, I have a weekly wrap up. This is week 43 and all my reading shenanigans in between. So this was October 20th through October 26th and everything that I read. And I read a shit ton. I don't know what got into me, but I have got a lot to talk about. So without further ado, grab yourself a drink. This is going to be a long one. Have yourself a seat and let's get talking some books. Okay, let's get down to business. To defeat the Huns. Sorry, if that line said you have to just kind of keep going. It's a matter of principle at this point, okay? Moving on. Okay, so week 43, I completed a lot. Oh my God, I want to tell you how much I completed, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, surprise at the end. So it's like, let's just go for it. So the first book I completed was something I had started in week 42, and that is Adam by Jacqueline Frank. It looks like this. This was an audiobook done by Jomin. I don't fucking remember the audiobook narrator. To be perfectly honest, I will put it in the down box below because I actually don't remember. I didn't write it down. But I decided to listen to this on audio. If you are not familiar with this series, this is the sixth installment to the Nightwalker series. This is a series I started back last year when I did the Nightwalker read-along with Becky over at BeckX Reads and Kalani Simply Me. We've already completed this read-along, but I did not get to this book. So I thought, it's spooky season, why the fuck not? Let's just finish it up. I'm on a roll, let's do this. So I completed it, 6 installments of the Nightwalker series. This is a paranormal romance, and we feature magical realism, time travel, and some blood play. Yeah. Yes. So quick little summary. This is a direct follow-up of the previous installment, Noah. Okay, so this series, no, you don't actually have to read them in order, but I would very much recommend that you do. The continuity is fairly decent, but this is definitely a series you want to read in order, especially this one. You have to almost read Noah prior to this one to really understand this guy at all. So yes, it's an interconnected standalone series, but the standalone element is very, very weak. If you happen to do it by accident, you can kind of muddle your way through, but in truth, I don't think this series is designed to read out of order. So read this thing in order. Understand this is a direct follow-up of that book, but this one follows a child of time prophecy that's come to play and yet time travel occurs. The child of time prophecy is a prophecy we've learned about in previous installments, and it now takes full effect in this guy. So if you don't like time travel, you're not gonna like this installment, which is what a lot of my friends said. Jackie, don't waste your time with it because you don't like time travel. It's not done right. But I was like, I like to make myself suffer for some god-awful stupid reason. I don't really know why. So I read it. But quick little synopsis. We have Adam, who is a character that has been mentioned in prior installments, but has never been seen because he disappeared well before the series ever took place. The first installment, Jacob, is actually about his younger brother, Jacob, who is the enforcer. Adam is Jacob's older brother, who just like poof, disappeared. And we think that he was taken and, exorcised because he's a demon, and he was taken by a necromancer and turned into like some ghouly, fucking gross ass thing. And that's what happened to him. You think of that for the entire series, which turns out, no, that's not what happened. Spoiler, that's not what happened. Adam is brought forward back in time to rectify a wrong and gets stuck because when he does what he does, obviously it changes the timeline because that's how time travel works. You can't change anything in the past or the future without affecting everybody else's outcome. It's the butterfly effect, okay? But what allows this story to progress is that because he gets stuck, we get a second chance fated mate occurrence, which is kind of a dope thing. That's actually kind of neat. I enjoyed that concept. And together with his new mate, we get to track down the ultimate baddie, who he is the only one that really could actually take her on because of her powers and everything like that, which is Ruth, who is a continuous character from all the previous installments. So you do have to read the previous installments to really understand all the intricate details of this one. You cannot not have read any of the previous series without reading this one. So just a heads up, guys, if you plan on picking up the series, just read it in fucking order. It's a lot easier and you won't be confused. So what worked? The continuity. I want to bring this up because I read this installment a year later after reading the other installments. And for the most part, I was up to speed on everything. I found that when she reminded me of certain things, they were all the things I needed to know to really remember who was with who was with which character, whose power. The continuity was there. So this is definitely a series that if you don't want to read it back to back to back to back, you don't have to. You can take breaks in between each series. Most of the series in this had that kind of quality, but this one, because it had the biggest time gap for me, I was the one I was looking for the most, and it worked. I remembered all the characters. I remembered their counterparts because she gave me a little bit. Because here's the cool thing: Adam technically shouldn't have been there. So having Adam come to the future, she gave the perfect opening to give us all kind of a really quick montage of everybody and their past stories. If you're gonna info dump, that's a good way of doing it. She incorporated the info dump really, really well, which I appreciated because I don't like info dumping in series. I think that shit's annoying. But for this, it worked because it worked with the story and it worked with the characters and the plot that she had given. So kudos. Okay. I'm not a big fan of time travel. I really don't enjoy it. I think it's kind of a pain in the ass most of the time. And most authors don't do it right. But this one, the way it was represented in this installment, she handled it really well. Much better than when she previously kind of used it in Noah. I enjoyed the way she handled it. She acknowledged that everything is not as it should be, that things are fucked up. You're stuck now. Congratulations. Good luck, but you're kind of fucking screwed, and Adam acknowledges this and, kind of is a fish out of water for sure in this one. But I really enjoyed the way she handled it, kind of the ribs at him about it. I thought that was great. So, I enjoyed Adam because he had the water abilities. So far, all the demons had some kind of ability, and we hadn't seen water yet. Well, that's the reason why, because Adam is water, and I thought that was dope. I really enjoyed the use of his ability, though she incorporated it in fight sequences, in sex sequences, in verbiage. Like, she incorporated his element to manipulate quite well because water is literally almost in everything, and she utilized that. So I thought that was really dope. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it how she described it in battle because I was like, yeah, that's dope. That's dope as fuck. Because water, as timid and as sweet as it can be extremely dangerous. So I liked the dual perspective that she showed with Adam that mimicked his element. I thought it was great. And then how she used it sexually was dope. Dope. Apparently demons are 80% water as well. Congratulations. That's awesome. That is great. There was some great lines in this book. Not gonna lie. So in the previous installment, we have met a character named Jasmine. Actually, in Damien's installment, we met Jasmine. I didn't like Jasmine. I thought Jasmine was a bitch. I fucking hated her. I did not like her. She growed on me on this one. I actually enjoyed her in this. I thought her snarkiness, her kind of like chip on her shoulder, it worked for the story that she was placed in, and it made fucking sense. I was like, all right, you're not so bad. I liked you. She grew on me. So this series definitely showed me characters that I didn't like and allowed me to grow with them, which I always enjoy when authors do that. Give me characters that I fucking hate and then give them redeeming qualities that I do find strong enough to actually be like, you're kind of the favorite in this book. I don't like you in the other installments, but this one I like you in. That's awesome. So I enjoyed that. However, what didn't work? The lack of adjustment. Okay, this is a time travel book. He has been brought 400 years to the future. 400 years. 4 centuries. Okay? I would have liked to see a little bit more struggle, because what in the absolute fuck? We barely got anything, and then it just kind of felt like it was forgotten about. Like, oh, he's just part of the world now. Moving on. Like, I'm sorry, what? He has electric lights. Shut the fuck up. What? And by the way, electric lights don't work around demons. So he has this new technology that doesn't work, but it's supposed to. Like, there's the fashion. The only time we really saw a weird adjustment was the car. He wasn't going to get in a car. And it took maybe like 30 seconds to convince him to do this. I was like, what? There was horse and buggy just yesterday for you. And now all of a sudden you have 4 wheels and an engine. Like, nothing on this vehicle existed. No element of this existed 400 years ago. And you expect me to get it? And he's cool with it? What? No. The lack of adjustment was annoying. I had no problem. We had like the lack of adjustment with new policies and laws. We focused more on the internal moral struggle that demons were now mating with non-demons and other forms of nightwalkers. There was more of a struggle with that, but I'm like, you were brought into a completely different time. Your purpose has been eradicated. You like, what? Because Jacob's the enforcer. You're not the enforcer anymore. Like, everything you know has been turned upside down and left for nothing. And it's just like, huh? It was a blip on the radar. We really need to see more struggle. More struggle needed to be seen. More instances of that to really solidify this crazy juxtaposition. Unanswered questions. There was a lot of unanswered questions in this installment for being the final installment in the series. Are you fucking kidding me? No. Who was the other girl? There's this random other girl that just appears. Who the fuck was she? I have an idea of who she was, but no concrete evidence. None. I have no idea. Nope. But she's a central part of taking down Ruth. And you're telling me what? All right. Well, who the fuck is she? Does Damien's wife ever get pregnant? Like, there was a spell preventing her from getting pregnant. We supposed to assume that now she can get fucking pregnant? The spell's been lifted? Like, what? What about the child of space? What does his function do? There's a prophecy of child of time and child of space. Child of space is only like 3 years old at this time. What the fuck does he ever do? The prophecy was for both of them. What the fuck is he supposed to do? Like, where does he come into play? This is the end of a series. Now, granted, she does have some spin-off series that do kind of focus around the same world, so maybe we do get answers there, but it's like, this was a huge, major prophecy that we brought up in the first book, and you're telling me that we're just going to know about the first half, we don't give a fuck about the second half. No, absolutely not. That's dumb. The prophecy itself. What the fuck is the actual prophecy? All it said was that there was going to be a child of time and a child of space. But what are they supposed to fucking do? Why are you important? Like, why? Why do I give a shit? Why do I care? Because you didn't answer the fucking question. And I hate that. And this book had way too much teasing. Way too much. There is a couple of sex scenes. Most of it's all teasing and titillating, and normally I'd be down for that. But, nope. Teasing wasn't even that good. So I was annoyed. I was annoyed by that. Spice rating. I gave this 2 chili peppers. The payoff was not worth the amount of teasing that we got in this book. It was not. However, water abilities used in a very interesting way. Water is my element to control. Should I tell you where you're wet? Abso-fucking-lutely. That was a great line. That was a great incorporation to it. That was dope. I wanted more of that, and I only got it a few times. Okay? But I wanted more of that. Jasmine is a vampire. Okay? Jasmine's a vampire. I saw this coming. Okay? I did. But I'm still glad I did, because it made for a really good scene. Feeding directly from the source, we're going to throw in oral sex with some blood play component. I'm going to let you use your imagination on that one. That was a fucking hot scene. I like that scene a lot. I re-listened to it quite a few times. That was a dope scene. It was probably my favorite scene in the entire book. However, not worth the amount of teasing that was brought in prior to it. But definitely well done. So 2 chili peppers on this one. However, I gave this book all around a 2.5. This was the lowest scored one of all of them because this was the final installment of the series and you left me hanging with so much shit. That's just rude. So, but I did complete the series. So another series under my belt. So Becky, I completed it. It's done. The next book I completed was actually a novella that's actually in this series, and that is Cain by Jacqueline Frank. This is takes place technically between book 1 and book 2, so it's labeled as book 1.5. Cain is Jacob's brother, okay? And this audiobook, I did this on audio as well. It was done by Justine Iyer. We have graphic sexual content, fated mates, and a 1-room, 1-bedroom trope, okay? So if you've read Jacob, this book is actually taking a place during Jacob, but in the order of reading it, you want to read it Jacob, then this, then Gideon. I think Gideon's the second one. I can't remember off the top of my head. Cain, being Jacob's brother, is drawn to Corinne. And we see this scene in Jacob. This is the first time we get introduced to Jacob and he having to enforce his baby brother because his baby brother has broken the covenant of touching a human. But Corinne is the human he touches, and there's this whole druid component. So now that he's touched her, her druid powers have been activated. Now, Cain's older brother, Jacob, has to enforce the demon that has stepped out of line, except when he stepped out of line, he started this whole prophecy, which we learn about in Jacob, and then we bounce forward to the aftermath of said encounter. And that's what this story really is. So what worked? I liked the window into Cain because this exact moment is brought up in Jacob's story. It's one of the opening scenes of the story. And we see it, and it's nice to see the other side of it and kind of get the whole story because in Jacob, we see this scene and then we hear about the aftermath of it. We don't actually see what happened during the healing, during the confinement time. We don't get to see any of that because we're dealing with Jacob and Bella's story at that point. So this was a nice little window to pop into. It gives more weight to the significance of this relationship in the rest of the series because we do encounter Cain and Corinne quite a good deal throughout the entire of the series because Corinne's ability is to be able to locate mates for demons. So seeing what they had to go through to connect essentially kind of made their relationship just a little bit stronger in those moments of the book. So I did read this after the series. In recommendation, I would read this in between Jacob and Gideon. Read it between book 1 and 2, and it will help further along their story in the other installments because sometimes they're just randomly, Cain and Corinne are just kind of thrown in there, and you're like, why do I fucking care about you? If you read this installment, you will give a little bit of shit about them. There was this really weird cheese factor in this story that was a lot cheesier than the rest of the installment. Now, granted, this was written in like the early 2000s, but there's this line where Cain is literally, okay, so he is, because Corinne Druid's ability has been activated by Cain's touch, if she's not around Cain, she will die. She needs his energy to survive, to come through, to bring out her powers. So they basically chain him to a bed right next to her, okay? But it's Samhain or it's Beltane. And so that's like their horniest time of the year. So he is like, I can't keep away from my mate. She's my mate, but I can't touch her because she's too weak. I don't know what the fuck to do. So they chain him to the bed. And she freaks out, gets out of bed, falls to the floor because she's so fucking weak. And he literally says, if you don't get back into bed with me, you'll die. I about lost my shit on that line. I was like, that's the greatest fucking line in this entire series because it is the epitome of this fucking series. It describes every single relationship in this entire series. So I just thought that was great. I love that line and I thought it was hilarious. What didn't work in this? This was straight up insta-love. I mean, it's a novella, okay? The audiobook was 2 hours long. So I knew it was gonna be quick. The fated mate was there. It was relied upon. That's the reason why. Corinne just gave it up really fucking easy. Oh my God, it was just, there was no discussion. There was really no explanation. It was just like, hey, you're my fated mate. Hey, I wanna bang you. I can't because it's Beltane, but you need energy, so we're gonna do this, but I can't because I don't wanna take advantage of you. You're gonna regret it, blah, blah, blah. And so it was just love all over the place. This could have been included in Jacob's installment and still worked because this was taking place directly during Jacob's book and Jacob was going through some of the same shit that Cain was. So they could have included this in like a chapter or two of Cain explaining this to Jacob or Corinne explaining this to her sister Bella. It didn't need to be a novella on of its own. This was just a chance to write some raunchy stuff about Cain. Okay, that's really all it was. It could have been included in the main book, but it was fun. Spice rating, I gave 2 chili peppers, graphic sexual content, lots of angst. I listened to this in 24 hours. It was a 2-hour audiobook and it took me all day to listen to it because stopping and starting. So, I mean, the whole book itself is only like 24, 48 hours itself, taking place in. Like, it's 24 or 48 hours tops within the storyline of the book. Audiobook's 2 hours, stop and start throughout the day. That's how it works. So, really fast, but I officially have completed this series, and I gave this thing 3 stars with a nice little quick little novella. You do have to read this series to understand it. You have at least read Jacob. The rest of them you do not have to read to get this one, but to understand this one, you do need to have read Jacob, and I do recommend reading Jacob, then this one, and reading the rest of the series just because this book will kind of give you a little bit more dynamic about Cain and Corinne, other than just being a couple that's thrown in there throughout the rest of the series. So, the next book I completed was Spookily Yours by Jennifer Chipman. I had a great fucking time with this book. Great fucking time with this one. This is the first installment to the Witches of Pleasant Grove series, and I read this on KU. This is a cozy little witch rom-com. We have an animal companion. There's pumpkin everything, so if you're a basic bitch, you're gonna love this book. We have fated mates, and our hero is a cinnamon roll. He's a pumpkin cinnamon roll, let's put it that way. He's adorable. So Willow is a witch who helps run a coffee bakery with her sister Luna in Pleasant Grove when she adopts a cat from the local shelter. This cat is more than what he seems and actually is a demon that's been cursed to remain in this form. He comes out and informs her that he's a demon and he asks her for help. She helps save him and turns him back into what he is normally, which is, a prince of hell. Yeah, that's great. But see, Damien had a mission while he was on Earth when he got cursed by another witch. He had to look for the most powerful witch to bring her home to hell to marry his brother so she would rule hell in his stead. But along this mission, he got turned into a cat, met Willow. Willow saved him. He realizes that they're fated mates. And that's where our story really kicks off, is their relationship. What worked? The coziness factor. This thing was super sweet. I'm pretty sure I got a cavity. It was so sweet. This thing's adorable. Like, if you're looking for just something sweet and cute and just fun for the spooky season, nothing super dark, nothing super scary, just fun and cute and pumpkin-y and cinnamony and just oozing with goodness, pick this up. It's fucking great. I found myself smiling all the time in this book. Like just that casual, like, oh, that's so sweet smile. Like, oh, that's so adorable. I love it. Oh, look at what he's doing. Like it just all the fucking time. I was just like, man, this guy, yeah. It was awesome. And Jennifer Chipman, the way she wrote this book, I definitely saw everything. I saw Pleasant Grove. I saw the fall festival. I saw all the baked goods. I saw the way Damien looked at her. I saw the way that she was nervous around Damien. I saw all of it. Like, I just, so fucking cute. So fucking cute. Loved it. I also really enjoyed the traditional talking black cat references. Damien starts off as a cat, as an animal companion. Who doesn't love a talking cat? And we get to see a lot of the traditional, like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Binks. We get all these kind of references of these famous black talking cats, which I thought was kind of cool. That was awesome. Enjoyed that. I loved Damien. Damien as a cat was awesome. Damien as a demon, even fucking better. Cinnamon roll through and through. He was super sweet, super loving, just wanted to be there for her through everything, wanted to experience everything, just wanted to let her shine and be beautiful, and just everything was about her. I loved it. And when we got the surprise sex scenes, which I was not expecting, it was all about her, and that was dope as fuck. That was awesome. That was so cool. He just gave me a really good feeling, and it felt very, very genuine. It didn't feel forced. It didn't feel cheesy. It just felt like, I really like you and I want you to like me back. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to sacrifice what I need to do so I can spend time with you, because that's what matters. And I just ate that shit up, dude. Oh my God, it was so cute. It was so fucking cute. So cute. What didn't work? There was this way the author wrote the book. I felt like there were times I was missing something. Like it jumped, and I would go back and reread. I'm like, did I miss something? I skip a page and I didn't. So it felt like some areas need more fleshing out, because it looked like it just jumped from one thing to the next. And that was kind of annoying and kind of irritating. But for the most part, I had a really good time with this book. Spice scale, 3 chili peppers. Did not expect this to be as hot and as raunchy as it was, for as cozy it was. Like, we got the best of both fucking worlds here. Thought that was awesome. I was totally down for that. Ghost tendrils and all. Yeah. So there's some kink in this, just saying. There's some demon stuff going on here that's kind of dope. It's not super sweet and, all over the place, but it's pretty hot and sweet at the same time. It's spicy and sweet. Great fucking combo right there. Lots of oral sex on a female, lots of it. We don't actually ever see any oral sex on him, which I thought was kind of a unique take. Usually we see one and then we see it like reciprocated later on. We never saw it reciprocated, which I thought was kind of cool, because it was all about her, just emphasizing this thing that he was about her. And I thought that was really cool. I was like, that's awesome. That's dope. That's dope. I like it. He was all about her satisfaction in all those sex scenes. He's like, nope, I'm not ready to come yet. You need to come like 2 more times. Pfft, sign me the fuck up. Like, absolutely. That was great. There was this one scene which I was really not expecting. Now, we are in the demon realm, and he has this like shadow thing, and they are having sex legit in public, but the shadows are hiding it. They can hear you, but they can't see you. I was like, where did this fucking come from? Like, this is polar opposite from let me eat pumpkin, spice everything, and just gooey cinnamon rolls, smiling and holding hands and, frolicking through the leaves, shit, like to banging you against a shadow wall on a room full of fucking people that can hear you. Like, what? Where did this come from? But sign me the fuck up. Absolutely. Oh yeah, that was great. That was awesome. I had a great fucking time with this book. This thing, again, smiles all over the place. I was just smiling. Just thinking about it, I was like, this is so fucking cute. I wanted to read the sequel, which is the first installment to a duology currently right now. I wanted to read it the next second. Like, I was like, I don't want to leave this world. I want to pick up the next one, but I didn't. I kept myself good. I was like, no, I need to read some other stuff. because this was not on my TBR. This was kind of just like a little like, I'm going to throw it in there and have some fun with it. But this thing was dope. I had such a good time with this. I even told my coworker, I'm like, you need to read this. It's super fast. It reads really, really fast. But it just gave you a good ooey gooey, spooky, fall, cozy vibe feeling. And I loved it. Had a really good time with it. Gave that one 4 stars. The next book I completed, okay, if we're counting, this is 4. This is 4 in a week, guys. Yeah, so this was His Amish Romance by Samantha Price, and I gave this thing 3 stars. This is the second installment to the 7 Amish Bachelor series that I started, I think, 2 months ago. Christian romance, we feature a miscommunication trope in this. I wanted something quick. These are all novella length, so these read really, really fucking fast. This one features Levi and Lucy. They had been going together for some time and it's expected that they were soon to be the next one to get married. Levi is the second youngest or the second oldest brother of the Fuller boys. Isaac got married in the first book. Lucy is best friends with Mary Lou, who was dating Isaac in the first book for years, but then he ended up marrying Hazel. And so there's like this kind of discombobulations, bros before hoes type thing. Lucy is asked to be Hazel's bridesmaid in their wedding. And so because she's a good girl, she doesn't want to make anybody upset. She says yes. But when Levi confronts Lucy because she's kind of acting a little weird, she's like, I don't really agree with what your brother did. Mary Lou's my best friend. I think that this was wrong. I don't think this was right. I don't think he did my friend well. I think he did her dirty. She was standing up for her friend. And this causes an argument, which kind of puts their whole relationship into question. And this is where our story kind of takes off. What worked, the continuity. You don't have to read these in order, but I would recommend it just because it kind of gives you some, especially with some of the protagonistic characters, I would recommend reading these in order just because there is some continuation of behavior with some characters throughout the series. So you definitely want to see that progression. And if you don't have that where they were and kind of what started them on this trajectory, you're not really going to quite understand the severity of what they're doing. Some of our like, and not protagonists, but antagonistic characters for sure. So I definitely recommend reading this in order, but the continuity is there. So you don't have to like read these back to back. You can take some breaks and open up and everything. I really enjoyed Lucy speaking her mind, especially, I don't know a lot about the Amish culture. I don't exactly know what is correct protocol for women when they're speaking their mind, like how open they are with that kind of free thinking. I don't exactly know, but I really enjoyed that she spoke her mind. She was asked a question and she was honest. She was honest with herself. She was honest with the person that she cares about, even though it was a difficult topic. She's talking about the guy's older brother. Okay, but she said, I don't agree with what he did. I think what he did was wrong, and the way he went about it was wrong. He dated this girl for 2 years, and in our community, that's kind of like, you're pretty much already fucking married. It's assumed. And then all of a sudden, this girl out of nowhere comes in and works with him, and all of a sudden, like, oh, I'm gonna marry you? Like, no, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with what your brother did. I enjoyed that she spoke her mind, and when she saw things going south, she never backtracked. She stuck her ground. She was loyal to what she felt was right, and she felt that you needed to hear it. If you're with me, you need to respect my viewpoints. You need to respect what I have to say. And I really, really enjoyed that because, again, I don't know what is actually allowed for women in the Amish community, like how much of a voice they're allowed to have. And I know most communities are different depending on what kind of rules they follow. So I wasn't really for sure about that, but I definitely enjoyed seeing it for sure. I loved that there was a realization of Levi's actions. There is a moment in this book where Levi realizes what he did. That, oh, okay, because the same thing kind of happened to him. And he's like, why can't I have my own opinions? And he puts the pieces together. He puts it together. I also really enjoyed the HEA in this. I thought it was really sweet. The way it kind of culminated at the end, I thought that was kind of cute. It was a nice little moment for them, for sure. I thought that was adorable. The only thing that really didn't work in this book for me was the fact that even though Levi had a realization, there was never an apology. There was never he acknowledged it to himself, but he never went to her and said, I understand why, and I'm sorry for not respecting your opinion. He never said that. And that pissed me off. I was like, that's annoying. That's annoying. In her own way, she knew that he acknowledged it and he understood. But still, I was like, you should have apologized. You shouldn't apologize. And where this miscommunication trope comes in is the fact that people just aren't fucking talking to each other. Like, they had an argument, so they're just not talking. And other people are talking to them, through them, for them. And that's where the miscommunication happens. And that's just fucking irritating as all get out. But the big thing was there was no apology. And I really wish there had been, because it would have made that HEA even sweeter than it already was. I felt like I could have gotten behind more of this couple if there had been that. But to each his own. Some people are, at the same time, he didn't feel like he was sorry, because she never felt like she was sorry. There was no apology on either side, nothing like that, but I just kind of wish there had been one. Spice rating, this is Christian Romance. There is no spice rating. They don't even kiss. There's none. This is just really quick, easy, pure, simple, gooey. That's what it is. But I did give this guy 3 stars. I had a good time with it. It was a nice, quick, easy read. Read it in a day. Because I had such a good time with it, I continue with that series, and I read Joshua's Choice, which is the 3rd installment to the 7 Amish Bachelor series. And I had a much better time with this one than I did the first 2, for sure. Again, Christian Romance. This is a straight-up insta-love connection. This is no questions asked. I see you. I like you. Moving the fuck on. Insta-love. So Joshua is now the oldest unwed Fuller boy. So we have Isaac, who got married in the first one. Then we have Levi, who is going to get married at the end of the second one. And now we have Joshua, who is the next oldest. And he has eyes for only one girl. He has had eyes for her for quite a long time. Nobody really knows about it, but he is one of the better looking of the Fuller boys, and he has caught every girl's attention, apparently. And they're all of marrying age, so they're just like, I really hope you take me into consideration, blah, 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 blah. So he's got people coming left, right, 7 ways to Sunday. His family's like, you should get married, da, 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 da. Marriage is all over the place, and he's just like, I just want to know if this girl even knows who the fuck I am. Okay? Now, our girl in question is Adeline. Adeline has feelings for Joshua as well, but she also sees her friends all loving Joshua and saying, if he doesn't pick me, I'm gonna die, which is really irritating, by the way. That's just, God, that was annoying, hearing that so many times. But she kind of keeps it to herself. She lets her friends kind of shine. She's that girl. She's just like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I'm just gonna keep quiet and, see how things go. She put her faith in a higher power, and if Joshua's the one meant for her, then that higher power will lead him to her, one way or the other. She's not going to fight. And I really enjoyed that quality about her. She was not going to do that. The question in this story, though, is will he see her if he's blinded by all these other girls' attention? And I thought that was kind of cool. I enjoyed that angle of the story. So that was one of the things that worked. The original plot, like, he is the hot commodity. Everybody wants him, but he only wants one girl, and she is not making any moves or anything. So he has no idea if she even knows that he exists or if she even likes him. So I definitely enjoyed that classic high school kind of romance thing, even though it wasn't in a high school setting. I enjoyed that. I loved Joshua's loyalty to Adeline before he even knew that she liked him. Joshua makes it very, very clear in the beginning, like, he doesn't say that he likes her to a lot of people because he doesn't want a lot of people to know. But anytime someone makes a comment about her, he's right there to defend her. He's right there to say, no, don't go talk to her. Leave her alone. He's very the golden retriever, loyal boy already, and she doesn't even know it. So I thought that was really great. I love the fact that they brought up the hypocrisy of Mary Lou's character. Mary Lou is one of those characters that has appeared in all 3 installments so far. And they literally make a point to say, well, she's just making her rounds. First she was with Isaac, and now she likes Levi, and now it's me. What the fuck? Who's next? Like, come on. Like, make up your damn mind, girl. You just want to get married, and you're, like, hung up on our fucking family. Like, I love the fact that that hypocrisy was brought up, because it was starting to get noticeable by the readers. And so the fact to have the brothers mention it themselves, I thought that was great. I thought that was great. Out of this entire story, Caroline, Adeline's sister, is probably the realest of the bunch. I loved her. That was awesome. I loved her. She's like, look, he likes you. You like him. Quit taking the back seat and the back burner to your fucking friends because this is stupid. You are about to waste a good thing because you want to be loyal to... No, he doesn't like them, so fuck them. Start thinking about yourself. Liked it. Liked Caroline. She's a Spitfire. I'm anxious to see who she ends up with because I think that one's going to be kind of a fun story for sure. Definitely. But I enjoyed her a lot. We finally get to the first date of these two, and that mishap was adorable. That was great. That is a meet cute story. That's a story you tell your kids. That's even brought it up. I loved it. Thought it was cheesy. Thought it was good. Super sweet. Had a good time with it. But what didn't work? I did not like Adeline's martyrdom for a lot of it. I enjoyed her loyalty to her friend in the beginning where she said, you know, if he doesn't pick me, I'm going to die. I like the fact that she's like, look, you're not going to die, but I get it. She's never voiced that she likes this boy, but her friend has voiced it for years that she likes this boy. So I like that loyalty there. But after so many times of throwing themselves at this guy and not taking, her still taking a step back and allowing like this martyrdom almost was kind of irritating. Your friends suck. Okay? They straight up suck. They were ganging up on you and like, why were you talking to Joshua? Bitch, fuck off. He came and talked to me. Get fucked. Like, go away. Moving on. No, I'm not going to help you do this. Like, the martyrdom got annoying. Good riddance to them. Fuck off. The other thing was, like I said, this is Insta. I don't care about Insta love. I care about Insta marriage and one date and you want to marry her. One date and you ask her to marry her because of a mishap that's a cute story. And your parents are cool with it. No. That was annoying. That was weird. That was weird. I was just like, huh? Well, that came out of fucking nowhere. You literally went from not knowing this girl liked you and you liking her to one date and then like, yep, you're the one I want to marry. Let's get married. Huh? What? Get fucked. Get fucked so hardcore. No, not so much. That was a little too, no. That was a little too fairy tale for me, for this, just a little too, and I was not cool with that. Spice rating, again, Christian Romance, there's no spice rating. There was some hand-holding. There was some hand-holding. Sweet and pure and cute, but hand-holding. So, there you go. I gave that one 4 stars, though, because I did have a good time with it. I did not like the, marriage ending, but I eventually got over it and I really enjoyed the rest of the story. Had a good time with it for sure. So I gave this one a 4 stars just because it made me happy. It hit me right where I needed it to hit me. So that is 5 books that I completed in week 43, guys. 5 books. And I started another one, S.A. Hunt, Burn the Dark. This is my Black Hat Witch book coven, Black Hat Book Coven book club of the month. We're going to be having a live show on it soon. I will link it up here when it goes live. This is about a YouTuber who kills witches because a witch killed her mother. And, there are parts where it's really interesting and there's other parts where I'm like, what the fuck am I reading? I don't understand what's going on. I don't care what's going on. It's horror. It reads YA, but it is horror. And, I'm still in the process of trying to figure it out, how I kind of feel about it. It reads, for YA, it's reading really slow, but so far, there are moments where I'm like, I cannot get into this. And there's other moments where I'm like, I'm super hardcore into this. It's one of those toss-up books. So I just got to keep plugging away and see how I feel about it. But that's what I worked on week 43. 5 books I completed, guys. 5 books. Granted, 3 of them were novella length. Okay, I'm going to be honest. 3 of them were novella length. I'm not going to sit here and, toot my own horn too much. But they're still books. They were at least 200 pages. Or at least 180. I think the smallest was 180. So I rocked this week. Just so you know. And I'm going to take the win where I can take the win. So that's what I got for you guys today. And I will see you guys all soon with another video.